Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Tuesday, November 16th, 2021. How you guys doing today? Today, I thought it's been a while, so I thought it'd be a great time to play a game. I love trivia. I love Tuesday. I mean, I like the alliteration of Tuesday, but we rarely play trivia here. Today, we're going to play a new game that's called I'm not sure what to call it. I mean, they're going to call it Decathlon Sells What or What's That Decathlon? So I recently discovered, I mean, I've known about Decathlon as a European kind of like sports retailer. I only recently discovered that they sell stuff in the United States. They actually have actual stores. If you go to their website in the search bar, it says it's like it's pre-populated. Like a lot of times it'll say search and like grayed out text for people to like let people know you could type in that box. For them, it says like 10,000 sports, 80,000 products, or I'm not sure, just some ridiculous number of things that they sell in a wide variety of sports. And like they're kind of like their business model is very much like a Trader Joe's or an Aldi, where all the brands, you don't recognize any of the brands, but they sell a lot of different kinds of things at a lot of really kind of crazy low prices. And I've been reading up on Decathlon a little bit, and kind of their business model is, they really want to get people trying new sports. So, like a lot of times when you try to explore a new sport, there's all the stuff that you need to get. It's super expensive, and you're not sure if you're even going to like it. Decathlon's like, well, let's remove or reduce some of those barriers, try and make things as accessible as possible, which I'm definitely a big fan of. So, um, I've been searching their website a lot, and I think that has picked up in some of like my cookies or whatever. And so, like on the phone, like I'll just get a weird ad on Instagram for something. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. What is that? And it's something that Decathlon is trying to sell me. So that's where the idea for the game came from. We used to play this one on Amazon a lot. Um, and because like Amazon used to have really bad captions for their stuff. And so it'd be like, what are they even trying to sell me today? So that game always worked out pretty well. Hopefully it'll work out with Decathlon. All right, before we get into that, let's say hi to everyone listening on the podcast. Hopefully you guys are having a good run out there today or having a really great commute. Hopefully there's no traffic for you guys and things are smooth. I had a really nice run outside today. I ran in the Mizuno something, the ones with the plastic plate in it. The wave, I think it's a wave it's the wave inspire. I forget what it's even called. I had a surprisingly good run in that. I really enjoyed. I didn't think I was going to enjoy the shoe at all, but I actually ended up really liking it. So I had a good run today, and the weather was real nice. So hopefully you guys are having a good run out there today too. Everyone watching on YouTube after the fact, hopefully you have a nice recovery beverage, sitting back and relax. I don't have my afternoon coffee today because as soon as I got back from the run, I had to make today's trivia game. And I do have some cookies as snacks. I'm pretty hungry. Didn't have anything to eat after my run, which I always try to do something. But if I need to, I'll jump into the snacks. All right, let's see who's here. We got Jeff Elliott says, it's another crazy work day. Hope everyone's doing well. We're coming from the races over the last few weeks. Yeah, it's been a fun time in the running community, hasn't it? JC says, hello, Decathlon trivia, eh? Ready for the humbling. Yeah. So we're going to I'll either ask you to like guess the sport or guess what the product even is. And for those of you listening, a lot of this is going to be visual, but I'll try to describe what we're looking at on the screen. So that way you guys can play along at home as well. But it's mostly not, I don't think any of the questions, the products are for running. So they're for all sorts of different sports. All right, Martha says, Mike, if you didn't already check the Courtyard Cal Expo in West Sacramento, it's sold out, but the Fairfield and Residence in the same location still have room. All right, well, thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna have my wife help me out with some of this stuff because she's really good at it. She travels for work, so we have lots of points and stuff at places. So I gotta kind of coordinate through her. So we'll figure something out. I'm not too worried. All right. Thank you, though, for checking in on me, Martha, because you guys know I'm bad at this stuff and I like to procrastinate. Danny Running with Sir says, good morning, everyone. And Eliza says, hello, all. Work has been hectic for me as well today, but finally get to join again. Awesome. All right. Steve says, yo, just got back from a run, so need to freshen up. Q1. When was the first decathlon? Answer 1492. Was it really? I was like, really? Is it that old? I'm like, wait a minute. You had me there. You had me. All right. Stevie76 says, yo, what's going on? And Frank says, Decathlon, what? And my mom's here. Says, hello from New Jersey. All right, Ray the Solar is a happy jogger. Sergeant Ray says, hello, everyone. Knocked out 3 miles in the Skechers Razor. No speed elites, just the Razor Elites. And got to be careful with those Skechers names. Yeah, it's confusing. I mean, they're not the worst, but maybe they are the worst, but not by much, I would say. All right, let's get to some questions. Sorry for everyone who's in here. If you had any questions, feel free to put them in again. I apologize to make you repeat yourself, but I want to get started with the game and kind of try to keep up with you guys in the chat as much as possible. All right, so here's the first product. And so what I've done is I'm taken the actual like product listing. I've tried to redact like the most important information, sometimes covering up pictures, so it doesn't give it away, right? So we'll try that and let's see how it goes. So for the first one, let's do it this way. There we go. It's a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'm on a different computer today, so like my stuff doesn't look quite the same as it normally does. So here we go. So the first thing, the product is from Decathlon. It's from a sub brand called Fuganza. Normally $20, on sale for $10. Comes in black. It looks like some sort of pad to me. Like if I were just looking at this, there's two of them in the set, but it doesn't look like an elbow pad or anything like that. The sizes on this are like FS. I'm trying to see. Computer's a little bit harder to see. PS, FS, and CS are the sizes. FS and CS are sold out. So what are these, or what are they for? So we got some guesses. Martha thinks it's a girdle. Jeff Elliott thinks it's elbow pads. Dr. Josh is here. What up, fam? Says it's a shin guard. I think that's what it looks like to me, and that would totally be my guess. CJ, the runner, says looks like military armor. And Dr. Josh also guessing wrist guard. I think like a forearm guard. This is probably what it like kind of like looks to me. Tasmania running also coming with shin guard. Jason does his Batman armor plates. And Donald Beck says it looks like a back brace. It's two pieces though, so like I guess if it were like one, I could kind of see that. Steven76 says it could be groin activators, and JC says archery guard, which I think is probably the best guess because like it's just very, very weird and specific. But let's see if I can get. How do I get to? All right. Let's get to. All right. How do I advance? Here we go. What it is it's a horse riding tendon boots for horse or pony twin pack soft. So yeah, so that's what it is. I've uncovered the description of the product, or I guess that's the product name. Talk about weird product names. And there's another picture in the corner, and if we click on that picture, there's a picture of a horse. I don't know. I think that these are photoshopped, but it looks like a picture of the horse wearing them. And it looks like the pads go on like the medial sides of the horse's legs near like the top of the hoof. So that's what that is. Believe it or not. I don't think anybody had that. Did anyone have that? Tasmania running with a hand on face emoji. Dr. Joshua's LOL and says, why the long face? Oh, man. It's, yeah, such a weird product. And by the way, so the way I found all these products today is I went on the Decathlon website and I looked at their sale section and I went all the way to the back. They have 28 pages of sale items. And I just started from the back to move forward to see kind of like what they were selling. And I will tell you a lot of horse stuff, so much horse stuff. Like, why are they selling so many horse products? They probably sell more horse products than they sell running products. It's amazing. And the other thing was there's a lot of fishing stuff, which makes sense, like lures, lines, rods, things like that. So much. It was absolutely crazy. All right, where we see we got some. Mika said, hello all, 90-minute trail today in pitch black darkness, which made things pretty interesting. And I had to take a break from trail running one time. It was last time I was out in Phoenix. I forgot to bring any headlamp with me, and I went for a run before work, and it was winter. It was right before the pandemic. I actually cut the trip a day short to get home, try to fly home quick. I was worried the airports were all closed. And I was running. It was raining in Phoenix of all things, and it was dark, so everything was slippery and wet, and I felt like I'm gonna run into a flash flood somehow, and just so dark. It was miserable. So I know how that feels. That's definitely stinks. All right. Mika also says, I coach and compete in Olympic archery for 15 plus years. You'd kill yourself if you try to use that as an archery arm guard. Oh my goodness, it's funny. And Jeff Elliott says that looks like an actual pic. You think that was a real picture? It could be. I mean, I don't know. So many things are so many product listings are Photoshop these days. It's kind of annoying. And Frank says, "What sport is a horse supposed to be doing?" I don't know. I don't know. I guess I should have read the product description a little more. Sometimes the product descriptions don't give a lot. Maybe it's playing polo, like not water polo, like regular polo. They don't call it like horse polo. They just call it polo, right? I have no idea. All right. I can't imagine how the horse feels about those. I have no idea. I have no idea. All right. Let's get to the next one. All right, how do we dance here? Next one here. It is $5.99. Let's see if I could just go to that. Yeah, I can't make it that much bigger. $5.99. It's from Decathlon's brand called Outshock. It looks like a piece of fabric. I don't remember if you get one or two in the set here, but it looks like a piece of fabric that's rolled up, almost like an ace bandage kind of roll, but this one's black. It looks like it's canvas. It's got a strip on the one end, and looks like a little loop or something sort of attachment point on the other end of it, and it's rolled up. What sport is this for? Anyone? Jeff Elliott thinks it's wrist straps for lifting. I think these straps are kind of long, but that I think it's pretty close. I think some people got it already. You guys already figured this one out. Let's see. Fit Enough Life says these are wrist straps. And Kevin Bickerton, I think, is the first one that got it. These are boxing hand wraps. So let's go. Here's the listing. They are the Outshock 100 8-foot 2-inch boxing wrap. And there's an actual picture of the guy wearing it. So like the wrap that people put on their hands, like I've done like a boxing class in a gym like once. Other than that, I've never done any actual boxing before. I've never put on like gloves before. But we did put those on, and then like you hit like the big heavy bag thing before, as something I've done before. But that's kind of like what it looks like. So like, it's a special wrap that you use for boxing. You guys got that one right away. I thought that'd be a little bit harder. Runner Will says you put those under your gloves. Frank says these are for pole dancing or school board elections. Ah, funny. Duke BB22 thought they were gymnastics wrist straps. I think they could be. All right. And JC says Rocky would never use those. And Donald Beck says that guy's going to get creamed. Oh, that's so funny. It's funny. Like, look, whenever they do these photo shoots, they never use like actual athletes in the sports, do they? Yeah. Let's get to the next one. Number 3 for today. This one was super weird. I wasn't sure what this one was. I think the answer is a little bit underwhelming, but so what this is, it's from the brand Quechua. It's $100 on sale, normally $150. It says the color is green, but to me, it looks like the gray of like a ping pong table. And when I saw this, I thought that this was some sort of 3-sided ping pong table, kind of like when you go to like Chuck E. Cheese or like those like arcades for adults, like Dave and Buster's, or like here there's one called For the Win, FTW. I thought maybe it was like a new kind of like table tennis. In the center, there's a triangle that's elevated like a couple of inches. So like I thought that maybe that was somewhere where if you slam it or something like that. Because where's that ball? Spike ball. There's that game Spike Ball that kids play or people play up at the beach or whatever. And I thought maybe it was something like that. So that's kind of like what it looks like to me, a 3-sided ping pong table, but there's no net. I mean, there is a net, but it's underneath. But yeah, JC said, he thinks it's three ping pong. That was my first guess. But I looked through all the pictures. There's no ping pong paddles or ball included. Yeah. Jay Preza says, I just ordered the Kalenji tactile running gloves and running hat. Hopefully will keep me warm in 40-degree temps. I think that's about as good as those will be. For me at 40, I probably want like I have a pair of the Janji running gloves that are a little bit thicker and are a little bit more wind resistant that I use for between 30 and 40, or like once we get to around around freezing, that's when I'm already in the mittens for me. But yeah, All right. Let's see. Duke BB says it's a poker table from The Godfather. Can you imagine playing around this thing? Frank says this is for competitive yerba mate drinking. Tasmania Running says it's a UFO style drone. That would be kind of cool. But a lot of you guys have gotten it right. I like these answers though. Jason Bell says it's that chess game from Star Wars. How has that never been like released as a game or even in like an app? Right? There's like that's never happened. How is that like? There's been so many things that have been licensed under LucasArts. Like how has like the chess game that they play on the Millennium Falcon? How has that never been like a thing? Or maybe it has been. I just never played it. I don't know. But let's see who had it first. I think it was Ennis had it first. It's a camp table. That's kind of like an underwhelming answer, but it is the TP hexagonal camping table for 6 people. It's kind of 3 parts if you look at it that get assembled together, and it all fits into like a relatively small bag. There's a picture if you scroll down of people like sitting around it eating dinner and stuff. And so, yeah, there's the elevated section that I thought maybe it was like a lazy, maybe it's spun. It just doesn't, but it's just elevated. But you put, I guess, your salad bowl on top of there, things that you wouldn't put in the middle, and then under that there's like a net. And I was like, what is that? I thought maybe that's like you just shove your garbage in underneath. I thought maybe that's what it was, but it's not. It's just a netted area. I'm not sure why it's like that. I feel like there's a missed opportunity there somehow, but there's a net. You could also lay it flat. You don't have to have that elevated area, so you can just I guess play games. That's what they're doing in the second picture over there. By the way, this is not sponsored by Decathlon. Decathlon has sent me stuff in the past, but this is not sponsored by Decathlon. I'm just like, I feel like this place is like Toys R Us, but for like grown-ups and maybe even for kids. And I just feel like a kid in a candy store looking at this store. I really want to go to a Decathlon at some point. If Decathlon's watching, they should totally fly me out to San Francisco and have me go on an adventure in the store and then like just buy stuff at the store and go on an adventure for the weekend with only stuff I bought at the store. I feel like that would be a fun video, but not sponsored. All right. But you guys, a lot of you guys had it. You got figured it out. Cuddle said it was a camping table. Run and Will knew it's a picnic table. Yeah. Paul Ludwig says, I need that for nights at Ravinia. They say in the description that you can adjust the leg height to make it like coffee table height too. So I feel like that, like if you're sitting around like on a picnic, you're lower, and if you're just sitting like on a picnic blanket, could totally use that too. So I feel like I kind of really, really want this thing. But I can also imagine like how mad Grandpa would be if I were like bringing this to use for like the kids' table at Thanksgiving instead of like his regular card table. He'd be like, "What's this now?" He'd be like, "Get this out of here." All right. Dr. Josh says it's like a dominoes table. I feel like that center area would be great for like pushing things, like in the middle, in the center. So I feel like dominoes would be great to put in there. You know what I want? I want that table that they're playing that whatever that tile game from Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. They play in the back of a DK's store or whatever that was. Is it a club? I don't know. But like they push the thing and then all the dominoes come out. I don't know, whatever that was. I want that. Martha wants to know if the centerpiece is a fly deterrent. I don't think so. I don't know. I think it's just a raised area, just to kind of like, I don't know, make it easier for people to reach stuff or to store stuff. I just don't know, but I'm super intrigued, and I really want this table. I have no use for it, no space for it. Don't get it for me, but I want it for some reason. Jeff Elliott thinks it's where you put the chicken bones in her crab shell. I thought like if you give this to a bunch of Asian people, they're gonna go and eat crabs and just put all the crab shells inside. That's what they're gonna do, and just like shuck the crabs in your shells and just throw that in there. That's how we eat. Yeah, that was my first thought too. Or garbage. All right, let's get to we're going through these quick. Let's get to number. I think this is number 4 already. 4. All right. Number 4, we've got something. It's black on the outside. It's rolled over, kind of like a hot dog bun, but it's standing up. It's red on the inside. It looks like a pad. To me, it looks like the pads that they used to put on, what did they call it? The tube of a bike. So that way, if you like not fell, but in case you didn't like stop correctly and you were on the seat of a bicycle, that bar, it would protect your crotch from getting hit on the bar, or like the ones that they put on the front of like your BMX bike so you didn't smash your face into it. It looked kind of like pads like that, you know. So Samantha thinks that it's a pillow. It's from the brand Outshock from Decathlon, and it's $9, normally $12.99. You can get it small, medium, or large XL. Matthew Rhodes thinks it's a splint. Jeff Elliott thinks it's a shin pad, Shirley. Dr. Josh thinks it's a squat bar guard. I think that's a good guess too, because then you could have it for on your shoulders, and then you could, right? That's how you squat. I haven't squatted with like a barbell in like 20 years. Frank says it's a Taekwondo shin guard. I think it's a really good guess. Jay Preza also thinking karate shin pads. Yeah. Jason also says pipe insulators, and CV76 says it's a shin guard for a camel. The correct answer is where's my button here? It is indeed the Outshock 100 beginner martial arts and savate boxing shin guard. And for some reason, I was really thinking that the picture, like if they put this on a person, for some reason, I was like, for sure, they're going to show a picture of this on like a small child. And I was like scrolling down the pictures on the left hand side there, like please be like a really goofy picture of a child wearing this. But instead, it's a picture of like a grown man with like hairy legs wearing these. And when they put the pads on the person, they look so much bigger than they looked in the photo. So like these look like padded, like soccer shin guards size guards, whereas before they looked like they were meant to like wrap a handlebar, you know? So super, super strange, but only $9. So if you want to get into martial arts or savate, am I saying that right? Savate boxing. These are a pretty good one to get, I think. All right. Let's do. Samantha says, "I'm stuck on camping." I love it. I love it. Runner Real says, "I don't think squat bar pads come in sizes." That's true. That's true. That was. I think that'd be a good hint. Donald Beck thinks that you could use those as an arm thing for training attack dogs. I think for training attack dogs, oh wait, do they make just an arm guard? I thought that you only have to wear the full suit. I don't know. And Donald Beck says savate is French foot fighting. Oh, okay. I've never heard of that before, but that would make sense. Decathlon, French company. All right. Martha says, and it's so true. I can't not see it now. The model has really flat feet. There's no arch. There's definitely no arch. There. It's crazy. And Mika Katai says, savate is a pretty brutal sport, quite popular around here. Oh, now I kind of want to watch it. Oh, sorry. William Will says it's savat. Okay, savat. I guess it's French. That makes sense. All right. Rico De La Vega with a running question. You can have a pre-CIM group run. Yeah, we're going to do it Saturday. I was telling my wife, I booked my flights for CIM yesterday. And I was like, there's a flight that leaves at 2 p.m. And I'm like, all right, the race starts at 7. I run a 3-hour marathon. That gets me into the finish line at 10. That means I have an hour to get to the gear check and then the beer tent, drink a couple beers, and then go back to my hotel, shower, and then head out to the airport. She's like, that's a terrible idea. She's like, when's the next flight? I'm like, 4 p.m. She's like, take the 4 p.m. But then I'm like, but then I have to go through Denver and I won't get home till midnight. She's like, take the 4 p.m. So I'll be around afterwards as well. You can find me by the beer tent. So you guys will all have to also let me know what your bib numbers are so I can track you guys, so I can know when to expect everybody. I mean, I don't think I'll be in front of all of you guys. Hopefully I'll be in front of some of you guys. But I also want to make sure I could see everybody. All right. Ray says, with the super chat, thanks so much, Ray. Says, my average training pace is 10 minutes per mile. I'm doing Hal Higdon Novus 1. Prediction for my race pace? Yeah, I think that it's going to, is that your easy pace for all of your running, I'm assuming, if you're doing 10-minute miles? Prediction for race pace for if you're doing like a half marathon or marathon, it could be a little bit faster than that. I think that a good way to check on that I mean, your LA marathon is coming, it's not going to be for a while, right? So, in between now and then, I think that you could do like a 5K or a 10K time trial. Probably 5K time trial is a little bit easier to fit into any training schedule. So do that. That'll give you a sense of kind of like where your ranges are. So you've got easy, then you've got 5K pace, and then you can start kind of like filling in and understanding what some of those other paces are as well. I think that's going to be really helpful for you. Also, if you do a half marathon in the middle, somewhere in there, that'll also just give you some ideas of like kind of where your fitness level is for some of those races. So I think that it's really going to depend on, and I'll need a little bit more information than just 10-minute per mile for your easy paces. But I'm thinking that I was running, I mean, just going off of just that pace number for most of your runs, I think that I was running kind of somewhere in that range for my first marathon. And I showed up to the starting line injured. I had a bathroom break and I totally blew up. And I came in at 4:45 in that range. So I think that it's going to be under 5 hours is kind of like where I put the outer limit of it, but maybe we can get some more information over the next couple of weeks and months so we can figure out where that goes. And Ray says, I am doing the 5K turkey trot and half on 1:23:22. All right. Well, there you go. So after the 5K, let's revisit and then we'll talk about it a little bit more from there. Dr. Jess says I should run CIM while wearing the horse pads. Awesome. All right, let's do one more. Hey, co-family, random question. Have a 12-minute run for distance challenge at Orange Theory tomorrow. Hoping to run it at 6 minutes per mile. Any thoughts on using my carbon-plated racers for it? Pros, Carbon X. Yeah, I think those are going to be fine. If you're doing it at Orange Theory, then you're going to be on a treadmill. I think that you could really go with something even more kind of race and short distance oriented if you have something like that. So like they're really, I would say like the lighter, the springier, the more like special the shoe you have, I think the better, depending on what else you have. So, I mean, yeah, I would normally say like a carbon plated super shoe is probably a little bit excessive for the treadmill. But I mean, if you're doing a 12-minute run for distance challenge, go for it. I'd say have some fun. All right. Leonis here says, late again. And boy, I went to the San Francisco Decathlon store in San Francisco last Monday and picked up just a few things. See, I feel like I need to go out there. I feel like that would be a lot of fun. All right. Let's get to the next one. This one is super weird. If you guys get this, it's probably because you've played this sport. But I was like, what is that? So this one is from a Decathlon brand called Offload. It looks like a pair of kind of like half tights, but it's got padding all over the place. Um, it's got pads on the hips, and the pads like look super like thick. It looks like you know those pads that, do you guys know, like have you seen like they put pads on top of football, like the quarterback's helmet these days, to give the quarterback just some extra protection during practice? Or I'm just trying to think of what the pad looks like. It's like, try to describe it for people that are watching. It's almost like a waffle pattern of padding. The padding looks like it's about 3/4 to maybe an inch thick. But it's covers like the hips and then down kind of like the side of the leg, almost to like the front of the leg. Nothing medially, nothing in the groin area, nothing in the crotch. So um, that's what it is. It's like a very strong military vibe here. It's like green and black. And it says Kipsta on the waistband. So yeah, not sure what these are. JC says offload is an athletic diaper. No. Dr. Josh thinks motocross shorts, that's where I would go. That kind of reminds me of that kind of padding. Let's see. Definitely thinks football hip pads. That I also think is a really great guess. Donald Beck thinks it's for BMX. Ricky Reed also says football pads. Frank says it's snowmobiling underwear. I feel like snowmobiles have pretty nice seats, don't they? But I also feel like, I don't know. I never really thought I would need bike shorts with like the chamois inside, but I love them. So maybe snowmobiling does have shorts or pads underneath. I don't know. Dr. Jessic says it's cyan armor. Martha thinks it's for professional dodgeball. Another vote for football. This one's from Matthew Rhodes. Inna says it's downhill mountain bike undershorts or snowboard underwear. Is there a special padded underwear for snowboarding? I've only been snowboarding maybe 5 times in my life, but I remember the first time I went, I spent the day on my butt and I hit the back of my head a whole bunch of times because like you kind of hit and then whoop, your head goes back. Um, but I didn't know that they made. But I guess like if you have snow pants, they're kind of padded already. I don't know. X Truth thinks that these are preposterous. Tasmanian running says it's pads for standing in an aggressive airport queue. Venture, another coming with a vote for mountain biking pads. Duke BB22 says basketball padded shorts. No one has got it. No one has got it right so far. Oh, wait. Venture's got it right. Rugby. That is the answer. These are adult rugby protective undershorts. I don't know if you guys can see it in the picture, but there's also a picture on the back where there's a little tiny pad right where kind of like the tailbone ish would, or like I guess where about is that? You know, yeah, tailbone-ish area. So it's kind of like a weird looking spot. And then in one of the pictures, it shows that there's a whole set. There's a top and a bottom that goes with this. And so there's a shirt, and the shirt has basically like a pad going back down on the spine, on top of the shoulders, and like on the side of the tricep, which I feel like is kind of weird, but maybe that's where you get tackled. I don't know. Um, I've never played rugby before, clearly. Um, my friend Jamal, who was the race director for that trail race that I ran, he used to play Australian rules football back in St. Louis. A bunch of my friends from college. After college, I ended up playing Aussie rules football. Kind of strange. Um, but it was real big at the time down there. But I didn't think that anyone wore I just thought that in rugby, you wore like the Ralph Lauren shirts, the collared shirt with the stripes and stuff, and then the short shorts. I didn't realize they were like pads and stuff. I just thought you just wore like tight shorts and a collared shirt, and that was it. But apparently, there's regular clothes for it. So that's it. So that's the 5 for today. I do have a bonus, and we'll get to that in a second, real quick. But Melvin wants to know is it the base layer to wear under hockey pants? I think hockey pants are very padded, aren't they? If I recall correctly, I never played hockey before. Yeah. Kevin Bickerton knows the Kipsta brand in UK. It's for rugby. See, there you go. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Martha says, I don't want to do a sport that calls for this kind of uniform. Oh, that's funny. That's so funny. And Cuddle says it's shorts you wear in a garden with lots of prickly plants. That's so funny. Terry Furlong says Aussie rules is fighting and a ball. It's excellent. No one understands it. I watched a lot of the games, and I was like, it was like me and a couple of the guys' girlfriends were the spectators at every game, and people were like, "Dude, we need another player. Why don't you play?" And I was like, because I don't have health insurance. I didn't have health insurance at the time, so I was like, I'm not playing a game that's full contact, no pads, and I don't have health insurance. So I'm not gonna play. I mean, it didn't make much sense because I was also riding a motorcycle as my only means of, motorized transportation at the time. So I was kind of being inconsistent, but I felt like I was being dangerous enough, I guess. So yeah, there's that. All right. Midlife Runner wants to know: is it too early for pacing strategy for CIM? No, I mean, I think the pacing strategy is going to be line up a little bit behind that 3-hour pace group and keep them in sight for the whole race. I'll only kind of get closer to them and like tuck in with them if it's windy on the day. If it's not windy on the day, I'll probably line up a lot further back, and then just try to keep them ahead of me a certain amount of distance, just so I kind of know where they are, and then I won't have to worry about like looking at my watch that much. I'm gonna try not to look at my watch that much during the day. I'm just trying to like zone out, not zone out, but like I guess zone in, focus a lot, and just ride in cruise control. All right. I'm Half Pedro says, good afternoon, everyone. Hey, go. Have you tried or intend to try the 10,000cc collab by Rich Roll? I love Rich Roll, but that 10,000 brand, like I see the ads for it, and I'm like, I don't know about this. I'm not sure. Like I see the ads on Instagram, I'm like, these images, I'm not sure if these are legit. But then if Rich Roll's behind it, and I feel like some other serious athletes are behind it too, so I don't know, maybe. But like, um, I know there's something about their branding that I just haven't liked visually. But I don't know, maybe. Leona says, I like to stick with the pace group because they help make a way through the many runners. Oh, that's true. That's true. Linton Wong wants to know, hey Kofuzi, which heart rate strap do you most use, and two, which watch do you like more for everyday use, Polar Grit X Pro or Garmin Phoenix X6? So for number one, I mostly use the Polar H9 as a chest strap. I use that in the summer. In the winter, um, the chest strap doesn't conduct well enough for me unless I use a conductive gel, which is kind of gross to put on. It's fine. It's just annoying. So I usually go to an armband. I think I have it right here. Because I just took off all my running stuff when I came in. This is the Polar Verity Sense. It goes on my arm. I put it like up here in the middle of my arm. And it's an optical sensor and it works great. So that's the ones that I use for when it's colder out. Which watch do I like more for everyday use? I've never tried the Phoenix 6X before. I think it was Matt Legrand has been posting a bunch of Garmin deals. So I think I'm going to probably pick one up. But I think I'm going to pick up the 945. I don't know if I'm a Phoenix person, but we'll see. I do like the Grit X Pro quite a bit. It's heavy though. I think I probably prefer the most the Vantage V2 of the Polar watches. All right, let's get to the bonus for today. So we've got a bonus one, and this one is a shoe, but it's weird. So check it out. So it's from the Decathlon brand called Simond. And you can see there's a K that's somewhere in that name. I didn't white it out completely. It's normally $45, on sale for $30. To me, it's blue and black, and to me it looks like when you go to a carnival and there's carnival games and you can win like stuffed animals as a prize. And if one were a sneaker, that's kind of what I think this looks like. It's got a giant pull tab at the back. And it's blue with lots of black kind of like edging all around it. The sizes run from 2.5 to 9, and all sizes are sold out except 2.5. I don't really understand what's going on with the sizing. But what kind of sport is this for? Oh man, I thought this would be a little bit more tricky, but you guys got it right away. Terry, no, this is for rock climbing. I think Frank had it first. It's a climbing shoe. Venture has it as well. Venture got a couple right today, and has had a rock climbing. Man, you guys knew this right away. Here's the thing. So like, look at the sizes though, right? The sizes seem weird, and for rock climbing shoes, they always tell people to like size up a lot. Sometimes I usually wear a size 10 in rock climbing shoes when I've gone. Normally a size 9, but this, I don't know if this is a kid's shoe or what. It looks ridiculous. It looks like it's a kid. It looks like a Fisher Price, my first rock climbing shoe. But if we scroll down to, it's called Climbing Shoes Rock. It's just the name of the product. If we go down to the picture, it looks like there's adults wearing them. I think there's two adult women in each of these pictures. And it just looks like regular rock climbing shoes. So there's that. I don't know. But everyone had that. There wasn't a wrong guess in the bunch. Man, you guys had it right away. I wouldn't have been able, I've only because my kids are into rock climbing and I've gone. That's the only one that's the only reason why I would be able to recognize it. But even then I was like, what's wrong with this picture? Something's wrong with this picture. I can figure it out. But you guys had it. You guys are amazing. All right. Tasmania wants to know, did the 945 with the eSIM come out? I don't know. I'm not sure that that's all that interesting to me. I watched Des Fit's video on it. I watched DC Rainmaker's video on it. But I do like that it's smaller and lighter. I'll probably get it anyway. If I get a new 945, I'm not sure. All right. And you guys all had it. Jason Dahl says, for climbing, you're supposed to squeeze into the smallest ones you can. Well, at least according to Brooklyn Boulders, that is. Yeah, I've heard that, but I'm just like, these are so uncomfortable. I feel like when I'm in climbing shoes, the only way to be comfortable in them is if you do this with your toes. Like that, I mean, I don't know. That's, I'd rather be a little bit more comfortable than do whatever my toes need to be doing in a rock climbing shoe. They're just so uncomfortable. I don't like being in rock climbing shoes. I gotta tell you that. Frank says it's really for competitive rickrolling. And I don't know why. I think that's so funny. Oh man, you guys crack me up so much. Oh man. Sorrel says, I have the 945 LTE. I haven't needed to subscribe to the LTE services though. If you do get the 945, I would love to see you preview their Pacing Pro feature in a race. I'm not familiar with what that is. Is that the trying to think. No, I think it was Koros that just came out with a feature that I think it's a Koros, or maybe we're talking about the same thing. I forget which watch it was, but I was looking at a watch that has a feature where as you're running, a lot of times in a big city marathon, you're running through downtown like Chicago, the GPS is all crazy. There's a thing now with one of the watches where when you hit the lap timer at the 1 mile mark, it will reset itself and it knows that you're not just trying to mark a lap. You're telling the watch that this was the first mile. So it'll, instead of saying like, well, your first mile took you 2.5 minutes and your second mile took you 9, or whatever, it'll be like, oh, so that first button, that was the first mile. And then it'll kind of start to recalibrate itself in terms of figuring out your average paces, if you're looking at that data field and all that stuff. So I don't know if that's like that, but that was something that I think that came out from Koros. I'm trying to say, I think it was before the Chicago Marathon, but I'm like, I don't want to test that right now. So maybe I will soon. All right. Well, guys, I had a lot of fun playing Decathlon Sells What. I really hope to go to see a Decathlon store in person soon at some point. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with that game too. And I think that's going to be a good place for us to leave it for today. Tomorrow's video is going to be about the Mizuno shoes that I just ran in, the one with the little plastic plate in it that I'm really actually surprised by. I'm really surprised. I didn't think I was going to like it at all. I was worried that I was even going to make it for my 10-mile run today, but I ended up kind of really liking it. So that'll be tomorrow. And then we'll do another live stream, same time as today, just a regular live stream for the Wednesday. Hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.